And well, the topic shared with me today, IQ, EQ, and SQ, that is intelligent quotient, emotional quotient, and spiritual quotient, which is a complete approach to learning. We have been gifted by one of the most beautiful gifts that heaven can ever shower upon anybody, and that is this human body. You all study science, and we know that this human body is such a precious gift to us by God. If you live for 70 years upon this earth, your heart pumps more than 500 million liters of blood. Your kidney contains more than 1 lakh filters. If you put in one line all the blood carrying vessels of your body, an average height of 5 feet 3 inches and 65 to 70 kg weight, all the blood carrying vessels in one line, your arteries and veins, the total length of the line would be more than 60,000 miles. So this is a wonderful gift that God has gifted to us. We need to make the optimum use of it. You as students, when you are going through a learning process in life, you need to develop your intelligence, that is IQ. You need to develop your emotions, that is emotional quotient. You need to develop your spirituality as well, that is the spiritual quotient. It will be the combination of IQ, EQ, and SQ that will make you not just a completely successful person upon this earth, but an absolutely satisfied and contented as well. So this learning process which you are passing through now, you need to learn what the brain needs, what the heart needs. That is IQ plus EQ plus SQ. Because it will be the combination of not just an able professional, an ace professional, but a great human being as well, to be a complete existence upon this earth. Do you agree with me or not? You raise your hands if you say yes, all of you. You need to have a perfect combination of being an ace professional and a great human being. For that, you need to develop all these three. I will exemplify what is IQ. I will define what is IQ, and respectively all three. You might perhaps have heard the name of Dr. Ben Carson, who is the head of the neuropediatric department at the Johns Hopkins University in the United States. He stood against Trump this time for presidential election as well. He performed a surgery in Singapore many years back. The story is popularly known as the Siamese twins story. Twins were born with their head stuck to each other. And if at all the operation performed to separate the two, one would die or both would die. Dr. Ben Carson and his team, they conducted this surgery, 22 hours non-stop surgery, and he separated the Siamese twins. Both lived, both are happy teenagers today. From that day, the world came to know that this man possesses extraordinary knowledge transformed into extraordinary skill that he could practically apply in his own field of surgery when it comes to neuropediatrics. That is unbelievable level of intelligence. So in whichever field you are, whichever courses that you pick up in future, go deep into that to the extent that when it comes to that, you should become the top priority choice of people. You have to develop, going in depth, one good intelligence, one good skill that could make you stand out from the rest of the crowd. I'll give you one more example of what intelligent quotient or intelligence is. Well, when you are children sitting here, I'll talk something about sports as well. You might not have seen, even I have not seen, but I read in the newspapers and the magazine, the 2002 World Cup soccer final. It was between Brazil and Germany. The story of the football goes in that particular World Cup was the goalkeeper of the German side, Oliver Kahn, had not conceded a single goal during the entire tournament till the end of the semi-finals. He was like a German wall as it existed between the East and West Germany. And in the finals against them was Brazil. They had the dreaded 3 R's. Ronaldinho, Rivaldo, and Ronaldo. They were powerful attackers, not just attackers, predators. Once they get the ball in their foot, they could create magic. So it was a clash of the titans. Now see the intelligence level in their respective fields. To what level you can develop your IQ in the process of learning. Till the first half, the attempts of all these 3 were negated by Oliver Kahn. Now a moment arose. Oliver Kahn was guarding his goal, and from the extreme left, Ronaldinho got the ball, and he was running at top speed towards the goal. But there was the German defense there. So he passed the ball because he got the knowledge, the instinct that I would not be able to penetrate this wall. So he passed the ball at the center to Rivaldo. Utmost and highest level of IQ, what it can create. The German wall went towards the center, a wall of 4 players, 4 defenders. Rivaldo performed a dummy kick. What he did was he raised his leg as if he was kicking the ball, but he put his leg over the ball, turned his body around, so the entire German defense that turned around, because it's difficult to face a ball at this speed, right head on, face first. So they turned around, and Rivaldo did not touch the ball. It was a dummy kick. The ball straight away passed to Ronaldo. So the German defense did not have the time to go there, and Ronaldo shot from 60 meters to one of the greatest goals in football history. Everything that I explained, the whole story, happened in few seconds. The momentous decision of Ronaldinho from the left, the spark of intelligence of Rivaldo in the center, and the glorious perfection of Ronaldo from the extreme right created the first goal. They eventually won the match and the tournament by 2-0. But people who are known to football, they say and they describe that it was perhaps the best combination, well played in the history of football. So this is intelligence at the highest level, your IQ at the highest level. So your intelligent quotient is you think rationally, you speak effectively, and you deal very purposefully with the circumstances and situations. So develop your IQ. Today you are students. You have your subjects to study. Go deep into it to the extent that you perform well. Make a habit of performing the best wherever you are. And if you form that habit from this early childhood, you'll always stand a chance to perform well in whichever field you are, wherever you are, whatever you are in future. This is intelligent quotient. I exemplified it, I defined it. Now coming to emotional quotient. What is emotional quotient? Until the 1980s and 1990s, everybody in the management field, everybody in the technical field, they felt that only a good amount of knowledge, only a higher intelligence can perform well. But after the 90s, the scenario changed. They could experience practically in the industry, practically in all fields, that beyond intelligence, if somebody in the person of authority can understand his and people's emotions well, can take care of his and people's emotions well, can make the optimum and ideal use of his and people's emotions well, can perhaps be a better leader than just a person with technical and management know-how. So the rise of the emotional quotient in the decade of the 90s. Emotional quotient it's all about having empathy, where you are people-oriented. You give priority to people. You give less priority to your individual ambitions, but you take care of people's feelings, people's wishes more, and you have a knack how to use best people's emotions and feelings, optimum use of it for the growth of the organization and the growth of the individual. So after the 1990s, emotional quotient came into play. Those people with better EQs, they became better leaders, and ultimately by the turn of the millennium, they came to know that EQ are the people, they would have better leadership qualities than people with just IQ. I'll exemplify it. Dr. Bernie Siegel has written a very good book, Love, Peace and Healing. He's a very renowned, a very successful doctor in the United States. In this book, he has exemplified many stories where beyond medical science, by love, peace, meditation, prayers, healing has been faster, has been better. And he presented all these cases on primetime American TV. A lady in Los Angeles, California, she decided to do some social service. At the age of 80 plus, she felt, what can I do? She approached the nearby hospital, which was a cancer hospital. She asked the doctor that, can I get the photographs of patients who are suffering from 4th stage cancer? And the doctor asked why. She said, I want to pray for them. I can understand the emotions, the feelings of their kith and kin, who would be worried about them. Taking that into consideration, I want to express my heart out for them. She would take the pictures back home. She would pray with a wish that this patient gets cured, because the patient's kith and kin are so much worried about the person. And to everybody's surprise, and to all of your surprise today, that she cured during her lifetime more than 30 to 35 4th stage cancer patients without a single medicine. Just by effectively expressing herself, praying for them. So your emotional quotient is you understand people well. When you will in future get into work mode, get into management, there are basically 3 types of management. First is material management, which is the easiest. If somebody asks you to rearrange these chairs in some other way, you could rearrange it. You don't need to use much of your intelligence or brains in it. You have just been directed and you are supposed to do, and you do it. Easiest of all 3 is material management. A bit tougher than that is money management. Somebody gives you 500 crore rupees, it's difficult to manage what to do with it. And tougher than money management is the third M, man management. But the top class management gurus, you study them, Jim Collins, Stephen Covey, Anthony Robbins, everybody, they say a person who is good at man management can be much better and the best rather in material or money management. Because they say, take care of your people will take care of your work. This is where EQ comes into play. This is called emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence is all about empathy. So I exemplified and defined emotional intelligence. Coming to spiritual quotient, spiritual intelligence. You might all have heard the name of Abraham Lincoln, who was the President of the United States, but perhaps the most famous President of the United States. Yes or no? Raise your hands. Okay. Abraham Lincoln, when he became the president after losing 16 elections and winning on the 17th one, he sat down to decide his cabinet. His personal aide was just beside him. He started listing the births, started listing the name of the ministers, in which he decided to give the post of the War of Secretary to a particular person. His secretary beside him said, "Sir, if you don't mind, can I interrupt?" He said, "Yes." "Sir, when you are giving this very important, critical post to this person, do you know that he denounces you as a clown in public? Do you know that he opposes your policies in public? Do you know that during meetings of the cabinet, is not in tune with your opinions?" Abraham Lincoln goes, "Yes, I know. I know it." "Sir, even then you are giving this important critical post to him, which is the second most important diplomat in the presidential hierarchy, that is the presidential democracy that is in the United States." Abraham Lincoln says, "Yes." "So why?" Abraham Lincoln goes, see, now understand well what is spiritual quotient. Abraham Lincoln goes, "My first question, is he right for the post?" His secretary says, "Yes." His IQ for the post is perfectly matched. Second question, is there any question of his integrity towards the nation? Abraham Lincoln's secretary says, "Sir, no question. Since last 30 years of public life, there has not been any controversy about his integrity towards the nation." Abraham Lincoln goes, "I need only these two qualities in a person to give this post. He possesses that, so I give him, irrespective of what he has an opinion about me or my policies." Imagine the level that a person can go when he becomes spiritual. Spiritual quotient is well defined as, you go beyond certain limitations of human mind. You go beyond certain preconditions of human mind. You go beyond certain described and prescribed habits of human behavior, which Abraham Lincoln went, crossed all three barriers. To create a situation by taking a decision or getting involved that could be very beneficial for the future generation to hold on to the values and virtues of great human living. You become a source of inspiration. So my little friends, the process of learning is much beyond your textbooks. I gave you a small trailer of it today. Am I right or wrong? I want a proper answer from the trustees, then from the students, then from the teaching staff. It's much beyond your textbooks. Textbooks is just information. You need to convert that information into knowledge and ultimately convert that knowledge into wisdom. Only they say 10% of the information is converted into knowledge. My good friend Rohit Swarup is here. We were classmates. studied in school together, and fortunately with God's grace, we are speakers together in the event. He would talk much upon this subject. I'm just giving a touch to it and a push to him. And 10% of the information that is converted into knowledge, they say only 0.1% of that knowledge is converted into wisdom. And that is where all the problems upon this earth. So this is spiritual quotient. Beyond IQ is EQ, beyond EQ is SQ. You need to enrich yourself by your information. You need to enrich yourself by your knowledge. And you need to enrich yourself definitely by your wisdom, which is the spiritual quotient. I defined all three. I exemplified all three. Let us touch it individually now. See, what is the basic concept in our mind? As students and sometimes as teaching staff as well. A child who scores good in classroom is intelligent. And a student who scores less. Why, Paresh, you are laughing? And perhaps a student who scores less is less intelligent. This is the normal definition that the trustees or the teaching staff or the students, classmates, they make. He's a 90% student, he is intelligent. He is 60% student, he is less intelligent. This is the common belief and the common attitude that we live with. But this is absolutely wrong. Intelligence is not just your report card. There are three kinds of intelligences. First is called abstract intelligence. You are good with mathematics, symbols. You become a good engineer. Second kind of intelligence is concrete intelligence. You are good with machines. You become engineer. Third kind of intelligence and the topmost kind of intelligence is social intelligence. You know how to deal with people, how to take care of people, how to make the optimum, best use positively of the people around you to grow you, yourself, the organization. Social intelligence, abstract intelligence, and concrete intelligence. Just jokingly, I would say that those who score 90% in standard 12th, they get admission into engineering colleges and they become engineers. They get admission into medical colleges. They go into medicine and become doctors. Those who score 15% less, 75%, they go into the commerce stream, set up a company and hire those 90% people, engineers and doctors. Those who score even 15% less, they are in the 60% range. They go into public life, define policies for the first two. And last, more jokingly, those who score even 15% less in the 45% range, they go in the underworld and control the first three. So if at all some students sitting here, if you don't get 90%, do strive for it, because this is the period of learning, this is the period of scoring in your schools. Try to be the best student, scoring 80 plus, 90 plus, 95 plus. That is your endeavor as a student. But if at all you don't fall in that range, don't get disheartened. One universe, 8 planets, 195 countries, 1864 islands, 7 seas, 7 billion population, not just 90% people they earn, okay? It's a huge thing, huge affair, the whole universe. So don't get disheartened. Know the field and the sphere of your interest. As there are amount of droplets of water in the sea, as there are amount of oxygen atoms in air, there are amount of opportunities in the field of your self-interest. To earn money, to gain reputation, to live a dignified life. So don't get disheartened. Try, but if you don't fall in that range, don't get disheartened. The time in the 60-70% range. Know in which field you are intelligent. Develop that field. And you will enjoy. Sachin Tendulkar, he failed his standard 10th exam. And today his chapter is in the standard 8th exam in the books of Maharashtra board. What I mean to say is, you can develop your intelligence in the field of your choice. There is money everywhere. There is respect everywhere. There is dignity everywhere. There is fine living everywhere, in whichever field you choose. Know your field of interest and develop your IQ in that field. You will score better. You will live a best life that you want to live. How do you enrich your IQ? Your IQ gets enriched by the type of friends you move around with. Type of the friends you move around with. Type of the books that you read. Type of the programs on TV that you watch. Type of thinking that you do when you are alone and idle. That decides your IQ. That elevates your IQ. That raises the bar of your intelligence. Remain concentrated, remain focused to enrich your IQ, because even if you possess a good EQ or IQ, your first impression is created by your IQ. Did you get me? To step inside an institute, the first certificate of IQ counts. Then by experience, people will come to know about your EQ and SQ. Got it? IQ is the entrance door. It is the opening for anything. So enrich your IQ well. And when you enrich yourself with the intelligence of the subject that you have focused upon, with the field that you have chosen, and during the process of learning, you have constantly enriched it with your company of books, TV program, friends, and the type of the discussion that you do, keeps you not just on the track, but elevates you to the point that you want to reach. Remember, what you talk and what you discuss decides your personality and character. Small minds, they discuss people. Average minds, they discuss events. And great minds, they discuss ideas. You will get a touch of it in the third lecture. So now you have to decide your personality and character. Choice is yours. The choice that you make will decide the chance that you will stand for a great change in life. So the type of the discussions that you do with your friends or surroundings decides your personality and character. Again, I repeat, small minds that discuss people, average minds that discuss events, and great minds that discuss ideas. Normally we have a habit, after the T20 or the one day international is over, ball was going outside the off stump, it pitched on the off stump, it was an outswing and a rising delivery, and why should Virat Kohli play away from his body? He would definitely edge it to the first slip, and see, he did. खेलना ही नहीं आता इन लोगों को. But we don't understand the level of performance there. None of us has played a delivery, an express delivery of 145 kilometers per hour. Have we? What is 95 to 98 miles per hour deliveries? We don't know. And after pitching, it cuts either way 2 feet. Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma has just 40th part of a second to decide what to do with this delivery. It requires tremendous high level of IQ, all developed with the courage of experience. Playing 500 deliveries a day in practice in net sessions before 9 a.m. develops this level of IQ in the respective field. It will need labor. It will need labor to develop IQ to this level. 40th part of a second, they have to decide what to do with this delivery. You have played your cricket, you and me, with a charcoal. We draw 3 stumps on somebody's wall, spoiling Swachh Bharat. And then we have played our cricket. And then you comment on that. खेलना ही नहीं आता, कोई बात नहीं साहब, आपको बेच देंगे अगली बार, और क्या. So for developing your IQ, you need to labor. You need to work hard. Once Beethoven was performing on the New York stage at the RCMH, the Radio City Music Hall, the most prestigious venue of the world. It's a 7-story auditorium. After the performance, one of his fans was there in the audience. He ran up to him on the stage. Sir, I'm a big fan of yours. Fine. Sir, I want to play piano like you. Can I? Beethoven goes, yes, you can. Sir, like you? Beethoven says, yes, like me. Sir, like you on the stage? Yes. The fan was getting excited and Beethoven went on keeping calm. Sir, like you, a live orchestra at this venue, at this place, with this packed audience? Beethoven goes, yes. Sir, can you give him a tip? Beethoven goes, tip is very simple. Sir, that's simple, yes. Sir, give me. Beethoven says, just one sentence is a tip. Oh, really? Beethoven goes, 18 hours a day, 40 years, you will play here. If you practice piano for 18 hours a day for 40 years, you will play like me here. Simple tip. The heights attained and kept by great personalities were not attained by sudden flight. But they, while their companions slept, were toiling upwards at night. Intense hard work that will develop your IQ. With planning, with brains, but it is the foundation. So form a habit, my little friends, students, to work hard till the last breath of your life in whichever field you are. Make a habit of working 8-10 hours a day. That is not just a human duty. It's not just a human endeavor, it's a human dignity as well. Then only you will be able to contribute something in your respective field. That is developing your IQ. Now coming back, how to enrich your EQ. Emotional quotient. For emotional quotient, you need to be a bit practical and flexible in life. Try to deflate your eye a bit, because every third person sitting beside you is more intelligent than you. Do you basically accept this thought that there are many intelligent people more intelligent than me in and around me? This is a big learning process that I want to teach you. Because after the best of certificates that you have from the best of universities in the world, still, if you will not be able to relate yourself with people around you, if you will not be able to adjust, accept, compromise with people around you with whom you need to live and spend your life, with whom you need to work and carry out your aims and objectives, you won't be able to not just work, least aside, be successful in life. People are the most important in your life. So develop a habit when you want to enrich your emotional quotient of acceptance, of adjustments, of compromise. Still as students, and particularly as bachelors, you won't be able to understand what is adjustment, acceptance, and compromise. Married people know. Am I right or no? What is compromise? What is adjustment? 2 times in a day, the spouse has to do with each other. Yes or no? Adjustment is life. Compromise is life. Acceptance is life. You walk by it. That is developing your EQ. For that, you need to introspect. In this particular discussion, is his point better than me? If it is better, accept it. Putting aside your ego, that is emotional enrichment of yourself. That is a good learning process. All the pages of history which guide the future generations, which are a source of inspiration for Gen Next, are filled with pages of not technical czars, but filled with pages of people who have dealt with people better. And they are history changers. From Mahatma Gandhi to Sardar Patel to our present Prime Minister Narendra Bhai Modi. They are history changers because they deal effectively with the people. They understand people well. So adjustment. Even if the made for each other couple of your city of Coimbatore, perhaps, made for each other couple, there is a 60-40 combination. 60% they are made for each other, 40% there is compromise and adjustments and acceptance. Yes or no? They experience people of 2-3 decades. Even the best made for each other couple is a 60-40 ratio. 60% is goody-goody and 40% is acceptance, adjustments, compromise. That is how it goes. That is enriching your EQ. Another good aspect of enriching your emotional quotient is, tell yourself every day in the morning that only if I decide to worry, only if I decide to be in grief, only if I decide to be unhappy, only then people and circumstances can make me do so. Why should I give my remote control in somebody's hands? See, our minds are sometimes so mean, so cheap, so weak. When we are in a party and when we meet somebody or in a gathering, when somebody just looks at us a couple of times, 3-4 times, we start getting thoughts in mind. Why is he looking at me? The answer is very simple. He is looking at you because he has eyes. He looked for the 3rd, 4th and the 5th and the 7th and the 10th time. He looked only 2 times, 3rd and the 4th time he was looking somewhere, you came in between. What I mean to say is, don't let your eruptions of emotions come out time and again. That is your EQ enriched. Don't react immediately. You need to respond. Big difference between reaction and response. Don't react. You have all the right and authority to respond in the way that you want. No reaction. Reaction is accidental. Response is judgmental. Make a good judgment. Take the whole scenario into consideration. Take the whole picture in front of you and then respond. Till then, control your emotions. Don't have emotional outbursts. Otherwise, you will lose yourself. Your 10 years of relationship as a friend, as a spouse, as a neighbor, as a relative, whatever relationships, your 10 years of professional relationships can go down in drain in a 5-second mistaken emotional outburst. Yes or no? Maybe in form of an anger, maybe in form of greed, anything. We all learned a proverb when we were as children, think before you act. And think twice before you speak. So emotional enrichment is, wait for a moment before you react. Give time to your heart to respond. Reactions come from the brain. Responses come from the heart. Give time before you actually respond for a right combination of your head and heart so that you don't make a relationship mistake in your life. That is a learning process. That is how you enrich your emotional atmosphere within. And again, I would like to remind, those people who can manage people well are those people who have led organizations, who have led changes. I give you a practical one of it. How people who can deal well with people can control people of good intelligence. All computer engineers, IT engineers from here in the country, they travel to the Silicon Valley in California in search of good jobs. And they are getting good jobs. Some of them are paid $60,000, $80,000, $100,000. And we are proud of them. And we talk about them. That my cousin, my nephew. But do you know who pays them? All the owners of these Silicon Valley companies, none of them are technical people. They are all commerce graduates. They opened up a company and hired these people. They know how to extract work from you. We are good workers. The West are good managers. We are good workers. They are good managers. So they know, and that is why such a small country like England, they ruled over India for 200 years. At any given moment in history, in their 200 years rule over India, there were not more than 25,000 Britishers physically present on the soil of our country. And they controlled a population of 40 crores. They knew how to effectively deal with people. So those people who are people managers, they become leaders. Enriching your emotional environment within. And that is, in word, keep yourself stable and patient in circumstances and dealing with people. Somebody tells you a donkey in public. How would you feel? You are a donkey. And how would you feel? Oh, bad. He called me donkey in public, in the presence of so many people. You know, my disrespect. Our Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj, who was the head of the organization that I come from, the BAPS Swaminarayan Sanstha, which is one of the top 10 NGOs of the world with a permanent seat in the United Nations as an NGO. We run more than 100 hospitals, schools, hostels and colleges. How many of you have been to Akshardham at Delhi or Gandhinagar? Quite many of you. Such more than 1,300 places developed and administered by Pramukh Swami Maharaj. For that, Guinness Book of World Records has wrote for him that he is the master builder of the 20th century. Pramukh Swami Maharaj, he was the administrative head of this BAPS for 65 years, from 1950 to 2016. He was also the spiritual head of our organization for 45 years in between, from 1971 to 2016. He worked tirelessly for the upliftment of mankind in all walks of life. We do 162 different kinds of social, cultural, educational, medical, social, moral activities in the society. Pramukh Swami Maharaj, for this, he was felicitated in the British Parliament, in the Canadian Parliament, in the Kenyan Parliament. He has been the recipient of more than 20 plus key to the cities in the United States. He initiated more than 1,100 saints like us. Out of the 1,100 that we are in the organization, more than 750 of them are graduates, postgraduates, chartered accountants, doctors, engineers. Out of 750 that we are, more than 150 of them are born American or British citizens. Out of that, more than 50 of them have studied in Stanford, in Harvard, in Carnegie Mellon, in Yale, in Oxford. Many of our saints have left aside jobs of $150,000, $200,000 at the age of 20 to 25, 27 to become saints in the organization. So Pramukh Swami Maharaj was successful in bringing in such cultured and educated young minds into mainstream social service and mainstream spirituality. He lived with certain principles in life. He lived with certain basic thought processes in life that could not just enrich your life as a human being, that could enrich your life spiritually as well. He used to tell a very simple example. How to control and why to control your emotions, which is the basic of enriching your emotional environment within, which will help you control the situations later, which will prevent you from spoiling relationships. He used to say this: if somebody tells you you are a donkey, how would you feel? Very bad. Pramukh Swami Maharaj used to teach that when somebody tells you a donkey, just close your eyes for a couple of seconds and just introspect. Do I have a thick white skin? No. Do I have 4 legs? No. Do I have a short tail at the back? No. Do I have long ears? No. Then I'm not a donkey. Let him say. So cool response. He used to say, you don't become a donkey when somebody tells you a donkey. When you roll your sleeves, you call me a donkey? Now you became, because you reacted, because you accepted. There have been incidents when Pramukh Swami Maharaj, apart from his gracious felicitations, some ignorant people out of ignorance, they've insulted him. We have seen him in a state of equilibrium. जिसको मान अपमान में एकता बोलते हैं. We have seen him in this state of equilibrium. That is your emotional balance of life. Don't jump to conclusions. Because my father said this, my mother said this, he is this, she is this. No. That is your emotional control on yourself. That will make you a leader. IQ will make you a good worker. EQ will make you a good leader. And a great SQ will make you a legend. Choice is yours for your travel from a worker to a leader and from a leader to a legend. Great SQ can make you a legend. That you learn from the lives of great personalities. Once Pramukh Swami Maharaj was asked, which thought remains with you 24/7? He said that the thought that has never entered my mind. Shall I tell it first? And that was more interesting. He said that the thought of hurting anybody physically, mentally or emotionally. Absolute ahimsa. To the core ahimsa. Non-violence. The thought of hurting anybody physically, mentally or emotionally has never entered my mind. One thing is for sure. You can hide your emotions by your facial expressions and body language. Your eyes will speak out what is in your heart. So now people are taught at top B schools across United States and Europe, not just facial reading or body language reading, eye reading. You will never be able to hide your emotions by your eyes because you don't have that control. So being in a place, being in a position, being in an authority, if you try to deceive, if you try to cheat, you have something else in your heart, you want to show something else, it would not go long. Apart from the social media, everybody is conscious, everybody is intelligent, everybody knows the world well. This could happen, which is called integrity. What you are within, you are outside. What you are outside, you are within, is called integrity, and that is a big spiritual quotient. Under it lies all the S subsets of it, all the values and virtues. So spiritual quotient is very important when you understand of your journey from a leader to a legend. Basically, this Kikan institution is a day school, or you have some residential as well? It's a day school. Okay. Then it would perhaps matter less. Otherwise, at this age, when you have to live in hostels and when you are 3 or 4 occupants in a room, at that time, to adjust yourself with your companions' habits, sleeping, waking time, eating, drinking time, talking, walking time, you will require spiritual quotient for that. You definitely require for that. But this spiritual quotient is developing those values in your life. The first, as I said, not hurting anybody physically, mentally, or emotionally. Second thing our Guru Pramukh Swami Maharaj used to say, in the good of others lies our own. In the progress of others rests our own. This is spiritual quotient. Wherever you are today, wherever you will be in future, always think that let us all grow together. Let me take everybody with me. Let me be happy, people be happy. Let me grow, everybody grow. With that, if you talk, walk, behave and work, it is the highest expression of spiritual quotient. You will have your journey from leader to a legend. A wonderful book that I would like to, the title I would like to share with you, Spiritual Intelligence, the Ultimate Intelligence, written by Dr. Ian Marshall and co-authored by a lady, Dana Zohar. They have said if you have spiritual intelligence, you have these 8 qualities in you. These 8 qualities define your spiritual intelligence, and the vice versa. If you have spiritual intelligence, you have these 8 qualities in you. First is flexibility. You would be surprised to know, as students, that the latest definition of intelligence put forward by Harvard is, in very simple words, what does intelligence mean? Acceptance of change and congruence with change is intelligence. That means any change happening in your personal life, in your family life, in your work life, if you can accept that change well, incorporate that change well in your daily routine, and you in life start feeling that you are in congruence with that change, that is ultimate intelligence. Because people who don't accept change, they don't grow. People who accept change, with the change, grow. People who accept change before change comes upon them, they create. They become legends. That is a spiritual quality. Flexibility. Second quality of spiritual quotient is self-awareness. Where you are, what you are talking, who are the people around you? On this occasion, this incident, what you must talk, walk, behave. Perfect self-awareness that you don't make a private or a public mistake in your life. And when you are living a public life, in future many of you will go for public life, will go for stage life. You should be utmost careful when in public. You have to take 100 things into consideration, that you don't make a single private or a public mistake. That level of self-awareness is a part of spiritual quotient. Third, a person with a spiritual quotient has an ability to face and use the suffering of life. Any suffering in your life, physical, mental, emotional, whatever, you can use it for your growth. A very big quality. The top guy in the country has this quality. Anything that is thrown at him, he can convert it into a giant vote bank. The top guy in the country, he has this neck. Anything that is thrown at him, he can convert. He doesn't react, you see. He responds at his time. And he responds so effectively with the words that he uses. You cannot pick up even one word from it. You cannot add one in it. Otherwise, not just the meaning, the expressions change. There is a big neck. So if somebody hurts you, don't react. Think how can you use that hurt for your growth. Not just your human growth, your professional growth as well. You can use it. That is a spiritual quotient. Fourth, an ability to be inspired by a vision. You see something and you get inspired. How can I use that for my growth and development? How can that be helpful to me? Don't just keep yourself busy and moving around with criticizing people or events or criticizing don't ever develop that nature. 99% plus writers upon this earth and thinkers upon this earth are critics. It is the easiest to criticize somebody. Less than 1% writers or thinkers upon this earth are creative in a way that they contribute something positively for the upliftment of mankind, upholding the spiritual values. Try to bracket yourself in that 1%, not in the 99%. Criticism is very easy. After my speech is over, you will find not 10, but 25, not 25, but 50 faults with me. In my speech, in my words, in my thoughts, in my expressions. You have a choice. But at the same time, perhaps, one good thing you could find, you could carry it back home, take away home in your heart. That would help you. Criticizing me will not help you. Don't feel I'm creating a barrier before I'm actually judged. What I mean to say is, since you are youngsters, you are growing minds, I want to imbibe in your minds and hearts certain basic values, not just of human growth, but how can you enrich your environment. Be a contributor before you leave this earth. Give back to the earth more than what you have taken from it. This is the basic concept. Because this is a 78-year game. 5, 10 plus minus with the grace of God. 40, 45, 50, 55 already gone. Some of you are 65, 60, 70. You already reached the finish line. What I mean to say is, be a contributor. Inspired by a vision. You see something and you get inspired. You experience something and you get inspired. Gandhiji experienced something in South Africa. He was thrown out of the train. He got inspired by how would people be experiencing when they meet such kinds of accidents, incidents in their life. And he started the movement and he defeated the mightiest military power in the world at that time. Not once, twice. Once in South Africa and once in India. So when you are inspired by vision, fifth quality of a spiritual quotient, you could see connection between diverse things. That is a big, tricky topic. We don't discuss it in detail, but you see connection between absolutely 180-degree diagonally opposite things. Another 3 years hence, I will explain you this. Sixth quality of a spiritual quotient is causing as little harm as possible. That I explained. Seventh and eighth are beautiful qualities of spiritual quotient. Seventh quality is to ask and probe fundamental questions before you submit. Ask and probe fundamental questions before you submit. Don't keep your ego. मुझे तो सब कुछ पता है. I know it. You don't know. Ask fundamental questions and get the information. Basic ego ये रहता है. Eighth quality of a spiritually elevated person is he has an ability to work against a convention. He would go against the stream with the force of the divine, with the help of the divine. So these are the 8 qualities of a spiritually enriched person. This all comes by your absolute faith in God. Now I'm going into the last part of my talk. I was given 1.5 hours. I think it's about 1 hour and 15 minutes, 20 minutes. 1 hour, 15 minutes. So last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of my talk. Let me teach you one good quality that will make your journey very smooth. The complete approach to learning with the combination of IQ plus EQ plus SQ is your absolute faith in the existence and the doership of God. Your absolute faith in the doership, in the existence of God will enrich you because of your constant connection with God. Not just because I am a saint, I am Vaughan Saffron, I will talk to you about God. Top class management gurus, top class social relationship gurus, top class health gurus, they all talk about your association with God. I think all of you will agree with me when I put forward a statement that more research has been done in the last 20 years than it happened in the 200 years before that. Yes or no? You would be surprised to know that of all the research that has been done in the last 20 years, it is principally 90% done in 4 fields. First is science and technology. Second is management. Third is health. And fourth is social relationships. In all these 4 fields of all the research that has been done, more than 90% tends towards spirituality. Top class executives, Fortune 500 executives are told, a new word coined by these management gurus, you ought to become saintly executives. मतलब आप सभी को संत तो बनना पड़ेगा. Not taking diksha like me. If I told you are fortunate, then you are fine. Saintly executive. You need to imbibe saintly values in you while you are being a top class executive. Is the new word coined in management. Spiritual quotient. Saintly executive. Another good word coined in management is detached attachment. Detached attachment, which we call the Sankhya Shastra and the Yoga Shastra. From morning 9 to evening 6, remain fully attached to your duties. Evening 6 to 9, that detached from your money-oriented duties, family, and from 9 to 10:30 in the evening, be a spiritual entity. We feel that we are on a human journey with a small spiritual endeavor. No, we are actually spiritual existences. We are the soul, the Atma, and this is a short human journey of 70 or 80 years. You need to score well. This comes by faith in God. You will be a complete personality. Gandhiji used to say that I would have gone mad years back in the midst of the all kinds of activities and n number of people that I meet, had I not been associated with God through my prayers regularly in the evening every day. You read 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the most coveted management book ever written upon this earth by Stephen Covey. He surveyed more than 3,000 successful people upon this earth, successful in all walks of life, as an executive, as a businessman, as a father, as a mother, as a brother, as a sister, as a husband, as a wife, as a relative, as a friend, in all walks of life. And he found 7 habits common in these people. The 7th habit is, they all had the habit of connecting with their Creator, God, through prayers every day. So well surveyed. Clinically experimented by people of science. That your connection with God in any terms, by your prayers, by your chanting the holy name, by your meditation, by your penances, enriches your inner self. And when you are enriched from within, your outer expressions will be very purified. And you will score well. Even your simple actions, expressions will score high. Because you are pure from within. The words come from there. Emotions come from there. You will score better in the outer world. If I give you a 303 bullet in your hand, and you throw at somebody and hit it like a stone, he will get hurt as the stone hurts you. Yes or no? If that same 303 bullet is put inside a revolver and the trigger is pulled and then the bullet hits you, It will pierce your body through and you will die. It is the same 303 bullet, but the source of coming out, when it differed, its final output and result differed. 303 bullet in your hand, throw at somebody like a stone. It hurts. But it comes out from a revolver, then it will kill a person. Same words, but from which heart it comes out makes all the difference. When Bill Clinton, as President of America in the year 2000, met our Guruji Pramukh Swami Maharaj when Pramukh Swami's age was 80, it was a 22-minute meeting between the two greats. Bill Clinton would talk in English, which Pramukh Swami would not understand a single word. And Pramukh Swami Maharaj would talk in Gujarati, which Bill Clinton would not understand a single word. One of our saints, Amrutanandan Swami, he was as an interpreter between the two. So actually it was an 8-minute conversation, two-way, in the 22-minute meeting. After 22 minutes of meeting, Bill Clinton told us, the saints, coming out of the room, that I haven't seen such expressive eyes full of integrity in my life. Such integrity I have never seen in anybody's eyes. And Pramukh Swami Maharaj simply said to him in Gujarati, Sahib amaru Akshardham jo avjo. See, those were the words from a pure spiritual heart. Immediately Bill Clinton responded. When our interpreter saint told him that he is inviting you to visit our Akshardham campus in Gandhinagar, immediately Bill Clinton said, when he is inviting, I will come. And he came. So when you have a spiritual quotient high, you will not need languages. You will need lesser talents. You will need lesser intelligence. A spiritual heart can work miracles. Unbelievable miracles. They are legions. Imagine a 5th standard pass person, Pramukh Swami Maharaj, created this huge organization. How can? Monetarily perhaps possible, administratively a bit difficult possible. How can you engage so much young, educated, cultured minds? Lifetime. It's not a joke. If you have just 2 children back home, if in their teenage, try to change one lifestyle of theirs. Did you get it? The first 3-4 rows, what I'm talking? If you have 1 or 2 teenagers back home, youngsters back home, try to change one lifestyle. Forget lifestyle, try to change their hairstyle. Suggest a change in hairstyle. Try. You have to see the atmosphere, see his mood, and then you have to try to talk. Otherwise, a bold response. Dad, mind your own business. So from next day, everything ends. Then Pramukh Swami Maharaj was successful. Why? Because of a spiritual quotient. And today at Akshardham, thousands of people change their lives for the better. One great spiritual heart can change the course of social system. Since this inauguration in October 2005, we have 17,000 footfalls a day. 17,000 people visit every day Akshardham. Till today, we have this average. Thousands of people change their lives for the better. We used to remember those incidents, but now it's difficult for us to remember as well, but I'll just give you one. In 2006, somebody had written in the visitor's book, he wrote it in Hindi, that मैं हरियाणा के एक छोटे से गांव में से आता हूं. All of you can pick up Hindi? Yes or no? Yes, then raise your hands. Okay, like all of you, fine. Because you have to ask this question in this state. Shall I narrate in English or Hindi? English, okay. That man wrote that I am a very small man coming from a very remote village, a small hamlet in the rural part of Haryana. My age is 50. My profession, I am a milkman. I take 2 cans of milk on my bicycle every day in the morning and the evening 2 times in a day and deliver loose milk to households. There are about 70-80 households in my small village. We are 3 milkmen delivering milk. In my lifetime of 50 years that I am today, I visited Delhi only 2 times. Once when there was a marriage in a big family in our village, we came with the groom and we were there for the marriage. Second time, today I have come. Villagers, my companions, my colleagues, they said, let us go to Delhi and visit Akshardham. So today I have come to Akshardham. I went through the exhibitions. I am so much impressed. It has touched my heart, especially the values of integrity that has been well prescribed here. So I take a pledge that I will never add water to my milk. When Neil Armstrong put his first foot on moon, New York Times reported, a small step by a man but a giant leap for mankind. Somebody took a pledge at Akshardham, not adding water to his milk. A small step by a man but a giant leap for mankind. Why? Because you as grooming minds came to know that if this class of person who did not have formal education and living a very simple rural life, if he can be inspired by such spiritual values and enrich his life, create a good environment, add to the health of the society, and today after 15 years he can inspire students in a small school here in Tamil Nadu, in Coimbatore, he's a legend. Legends are not those always on the pages of history, who come down in history in times to come to inspire you with their small acts. They are legends. Such thousands of incidents have happened at Akshardham. So when you are a spiritual entity, when you develop your spiritual values in life by your connection with God, you not only create a change in your life, you create a big change in the society. Because your presence will be an aura. Your moving and being with people will be an inspiration from emotions to thinking. And that is why you need connection with God. Let me tell you, even if you believe or don't believe in God, as an experiment, just physically, without any emotions, make a habit of praying to God every day. You believe or don't believe. I'm giving you an experiment. Your science teachers teach you some experiments in your physical, chemistry and biology labs. Yes or no? I'm giving you an experiment. Try to do this. 6 months, 1 year. His is divine grace. He will make you experience something. I was talking to 400 scientists at Taj Lands in Bandra, Mumbai. After my 2-hour speech on logic versus faith, they were all people of logic. We started the questionnaire. It also lasted 1.5 to 2 hours. I asked this 400 scientists a simple question that I'm asking you all. The earth, if it is moving in this direction, it rotates and revolves at a typical speed, 1 lakh kilometers per hour around its own axis. Suppose from tomorrow the speed of the earth reduces. Suppose. We all have studied theorems and riders. Suppose x is not equal to y. Suppose the earth's speed around its axis reduces. I asked this 400 scientists, will you all coming together? All the scientists of NASA, all the scientists of European Space Agency, all the scientists of ISRO, all of you can come together to make the earth revolve at its original speed back? Yes or no? There are such 1,000 things. If for some reason tomorrow the sun doesn't rise, क्या कर लेंगे आप? क्या हैसियत है आपकी? Can you all scientists come together to make the sun rise? We have named this pull as gravitation. Yes or no? The earth pulls everything towards itself. We have named it as gravitation. Now listen carefully. Nobody in the world knows where this force comes from. I asked these 400 scientists and I puzzled them. I'll now puzzle you. I asked them, if I catch hold of your hand and pull you towards me, I'm using some energy, yes or no? Yes or no? Yes. The earth is pulling everybody towards itself. Is it using some energy? Choice is yours for an answer, huh? Come on. Yes, by science you say yes. Anything that is used reduces. Did gravitation pull reduce? That somewhere in North America, somewhere in south of New Zealand, people fly 2 feet above the ground because there is less gravitation there. If you say it is being used, but still it is remaining at par, then it is infused, yes or no? Puzzle starts. Even 400 scientists could not answer me. How will you and your science teachers? If it is getting infused, who is infusing it? What is the process? In what proportion it is doing? At what time it is going? Daytime, everybody is using that energy. Nighttime, when we go to sleep, there is a process of infusion. Nobody knows this. We have just named it, labeled it as gravitation. Nobody knows where it comes from, how it works, it gets utilized or not. If utilized, how infused. It's God's creation. There are thousands of such things which is beyond the ken of intelligence of science. जो नास्तिक से नास्तिक है ना वो मेरे पास लाना. Within 5 minutes I will change his mind. I'll talk logic. I will talk science. श्रद्धा की बात बाद में. I will talk logic and science. You have to accept it. You only have the right to keep ego if you know what is going to happen with you tomorrow morning and if you have the power to control that happening. How many of you are confident that you will wake up tomorrow morning? Confident. Only 10 out of more than like about 500, 700 sitting here. You know, of the 1.5 lakh people that pass from this earth every day, 4,000 don't wake up. They pass in their sleep. It is beyond our control. When I talk to management people, I make them understand God from the management point of view. This is the highest level spiritual quotient. I give them a very practical that they can easily understand. The management, I say you make a to-do list every day in the morning of the things that you want to do. We all make it. Today I want to do this. Okay? Perhaps, let me put forward confidently, none of them have finished the to-do list by the evening. Check for yourself now, if my statement is right or wrong. You make a to-do list. Morning 8 o'clock this, 9 o'clock this, 10 o'clock this, 10:15, 10:30, 11:15, 12:25. And by the end of the day, you will find 4 or 5 ticks out of 10 or 15 that you wanted to make. Because many things poured in which were not in your to-do list and you had to do it. That means even if your time is out of your control, even if your decisions to do things are out of your control, somebody is controlling your happenings of the day who wants you to do things that actually you don't want to do on that day. That is God controlled. Very simple. So when you understand these basics, you accept His supreme power, you get attached with Him, that will start increasing your spiritual quotient because you always feel, I am answerable to Him. I live with His mercy. And it's a human endeavor, not just to have an academic degree, not just to have a successful professional career, not just to have a good socialite stature, but also to have a spiritual endeavor to reach Him, to achieve Him. That is the highest level of spiritual quotient. When you strive for that, this will become a play of marble for you. We all played marbles when we were young, children. Yes or no? You strive for him, and this world's happenings will be a play of marble for you. It will flow naturally. Whatever you will do will fall right. A small innocent toddler of the age of 2, 2.5, 3 years, whatever he does, we like it. Yes or no? I'm giving you an example. A toddler, whatever he does, you like it. Even if he falls by walking, you enjoy his walking. Even if he demands something, you enjoy. Even at midnight he cries and wants something, you are ready to help him. Whatever he does, you enjoy. His small acts, his small mischiefs, you enjoy. Yes or no? If innocence you can enjoy to this level because of its sweetness, imagine the sweetness of divinity and spirituality. You enjoy every act of that person. This is the power of spirituality. So beyond IQ is EQ, beyond EQ is SQ. Lastly, putting all the three definitions together, intelligent quotient is you think rationally, you speak purposefully, and you act effectively with the situation and people. Emotional quotient is all about empathy, having feelings for others, understanding your emotions, understanding the emotions of the people around you, and taking the whole picture into consideration before you actually respond. You never react. And lastly, the third is spiritual quotient, whereby you go beyond certain human preconditions of mind, preconditions of limitations, preconditions of human behavior, and you act in a way, you create a situation, you deal with the person in a way that imbibes values and virtues in the happenings, in the hearts and minds of people, and becomes a source of inspiration for the future generations to come. So have a good travel, have a good journey. It's a good learning process. In short, there are thousands and thousands of things beyond your textbooks and beyond your notebooks.